Hi, I'm Clinton.
And I'm Nikki, and we're here to share a glimpse of seasoned love.
The real, the rugged, and the romance.
We just got through taking our annual family Christmas photos. Hence the, just...
The do up.
Yes. Right. It has been a tradition for a long time for us to every year take our family Christmas picture.
When the kids were little, we had somebody else do it. When they got old enough, we did it ourselves.
Yeah.
And then when Sarah became a photographer, we
had
lost
the inside scoop.
Well, we lost control of being able to take pictures anymore.
There were many years when the kids were younger where we had the tripod set up and the timer, and we'd get it kind of how we wanted it, and then usually Clinton would just push the button, run into the frame, hope we got something.
Right.
Because we used film.
Right.
Too.
Yeah. There wasn't digital.
For years, It was not digital, so we had the film cameras, and you never knew what you were going to get until you got the film back.
Sometimes you got some really interesting pictures. But then Sarah got all into photography, and Nikki no longer could tell people what to do. So, but
now Sarah
you know
does.
what? They turn out really great.
Yes.
Not that they didn't before. I'm just saying that they turn out really great, and we don't have to deal with it.
And
so
here's a little preview. So you have made it to the Q&A episode.
Yes.
We had dozens and dozens of people submit their questions. And so we actually have a bowl full of names of people that later we're going to reveal who won the t-shirt.
Yes. Really great questions.
Yes.
Right? Like,
thank you.
Excellent questions, and so good. Some of them, so good. We feel like we should do a whole episode on just that question.
Yes, and we will.
And we will.
So, first things first, we had a question about, are we planning to visit all of the national parks?
Right. So, real quick, I would say, yeah. For sure gonna visit all of them.
Yeah.
Not that I'm gonna make a big push to we gotta catch 7 more next summer.
No.
I'm not gonna do that. But definitely gonna plan on hitting them all.
Absolutely. I'm wonderfully looking forward to Alaska.
Yes.
We're gonna have to spend some time in Alaska.
And let's just say this off the top. Sparky's not gonna be going to Alaska. He won't be going to a lot of the other parks.
Right.
But he'll be going to some of them.
Yes.
So there you go.
He'll have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Related is, what plans do you have for another national park trip?
Right. Nikki and I have been talking, and we're thinking while the weather's a little cooler, we would head down to South Carolina to Congaree National Park. A lot of swamp land, I guess, is what it ends up being.
Some of the oldest hardwood growth.
Okay, yeah.
In the United States.
Right. And it's really cool because you know how we like kayaking. So there's kayaking trails through the swampland there, which we are looking forward to taking part of.
That is definitely going to be fun.
So that's probably going to happen before spring.
Yes.
I don't know exactly when, but sometime before spring.
Part of the reasoning for going, one, is that it won't be so hot. But two is there's a lot of mosquitoes.
Yeah, the size of pigeons, I hear. So, not interested.
No. The next question was, what national site or national park do you want to see?
Yeah, Redwood National Forest.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I want to see the redwoods.
I would love to see the redwood.
Yeah, West Coast is a bigger trip, so
yeah,
not sure when that'll happen, but
some point.
Definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
Here's a great question that several people actually asked us. Do you get a lot of questions and inquiries about your camper? Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes. It's interesting, though, because when we're at a campsite, right, we don't get quite as much, because I think that there's Well, what's that called?
Etiquette, maybe?
Yeah, sure.
Campground etiquette.
Campground etiquette. That's a great way to say it. Where people don't really come up and just all up in your business.
Right.
But when we would pull it over to like a parking lot of, it doesn't matter, like Walmart or the camp store or at one of the national parks. Yeah, gift shops.
Gas station.
People flood around and asking questions and so forth. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. We got some business cards made up that have our little logo, and on the back has our Instagram and YouTube information, and we give out a lot of cards when we're traveling, for sure.
It was funny because when we took our big trip out west this last time, we didn't take enough cards with us, and we actually had to have Sarah mail us some cards to a hotel that we were going to be stopping
so
at
we ran out of
so that we could get more cards.
Yeah. So lots of inquiry about our camper.
Yep, for sure. Okay, so next question is, how did you design / fabricate the camper?
So we actually answered that question in an entire episode.
Right.
Which was episode 2, if you want to go back and look at that, actually told how we came up with the design for the camper.
Right.
And the story behind why we built the camper. And then the fabrication, a camper is born, part 1 and part 2.
Right.
Those are the episodes where the majority of our camper was actually built. We built it ourselves.
Yeah.
We didn't find someone to fabricate it. This guy right here, the brains of the bunch. I'm the brawn because I just, I lifted stuff and handed them stuff and looked good.
Yeah.
Doing
did, for sure.
Anything. I don't know.
Okay. Next question. How did y'all come up with the name Seasoned Love?
That is a great question.
Thanks.
Which we answered in episode 1. So if you haven't seen our very first episode, number 1, it tells all about how we came up with that name. Another excellent question that we got was, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've faced as a couple, and what helped you overcome them? Yeah. So I think that there are different challenges in different seasons of our marriage.
Right.
In the very beginning, I think with any couple, you have challenges of, how do you live with this person?
Right. Coming from 2 totally different backgrounds, right?
Right. 2 different families, 2 different sets of traditions and upbringing.
It doesn't even matter how much the families were the same, just that you're from 2 different families.
Yeah.
Just takes time to adjust.
Right. We got married at 19, so we knew very little about life in general.
Anything.
Right. Very young and naive. And so learning how to grow up together and keep house and pay bills and make a living was very challenging at that point. Mm-hmm. And so how would you say that we overcame that?
From the beginning, early stages, all the way up until now, we purposefully found people to mentor, disciple, if you will, us at those different areas, right? So it didn't really matter about what the problem was, raising kids, or whether later it was communication, or whatever it was, right?
Growing pains in your marriage.
Yeah. And, we started out with Rob and Cindy.
And Mike and Mindy.
Shout out to you guys if you know who we're talking about.
The first year of our marriage, very influential, more mature couples that had some life behind them.
Relationship goals kind of thing.
Yeah, really helped us to grow in our marriage and understand how to relate better with one another.
Then later, Ken and Kay. Mm-hmm. And then later,
and even
now, Lee and Diana. And so those couples we partnered ourselves with so that we could have people to hold us accountable and to hold our hands through some things, or maybe sometimes sit down with us so that we could properly communicate together, or whatever it was. So it's that discipleship, that mentoring process that I think really helped us overcome getting outside of ourselves and just trying to make something happen here, but getting somebody else's more mature, more stable maybe view to keep us on track.
Mm-hmm. What is something you hate and how do you deal with it?
I know what I hate, but I'm going to let you go first.
I hate it when people don't use their turn signals. When I'm driving, especially you're about to make a left turn onto a busy street and people are coming and you could have gone, but they didn't have their turn signal on.
Makes you need the Holy Spirit right there. Let me just tell you. That's not mine.
What do you hate, darling?
No. Because I am super guilty of not using my turn signal. I'm going to tell you what I hate, though. My friends, I sleep with the CPAP machine.
And I love you for it.
You're welcome. It's not so much that I hate sleeping with the CPAP, right? That's not it. Here's what I hate. You have to have a prescription from your doctor to buy a fan that blows air in your face. Why on earth do you have to have a prescription for air? Do I overdose on air? Is it like a controlled substance that I've... No. I can't even get started. I will...
Can you tell he hates it?
I will... That just really frustrates me.
All right, let's move along.
Okay.
What is your favorite thing to do together? I know the answer.
I do.
PG.
Right.
It's B. We
Oh,
like to be.
you're so sappy. Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, okay. Here's another good question.
Okay.
What do you eat when you are camping? Do you have a particular eating plan?
Right. So let me say, health coach. So we usually eat pretty well, pretty healthy.
Yeah.
We did have a video on the camping in Colorado. I can't remember which one that is, but anyhow, we showed a little meal prep that we did some quinoa and rice kind of mixture with tuna or salmon, I can't remember, and some steamed vegetables, right? We kind of keep it simple when we're camping. And
Lots of salads.
Oatmeal usually for a breakfast, if
Or
it's not just
protein
fruit
shake
or those kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
Big hunk.
Throw in some candy every now and again, you know. What was the most challenging thing when you were first married?
Okay.
I know what it was for me. Do you have anything that you remember?
You go. Go for it.
Okay, well, I was still in school. Clinton was working full time, and we lived far away from any family or friends.
Right.
And I just couldn't understand why you didn't want to spend every waking moment with me.
Right.
Because I just assumed that when you get married, you just spend every second together.
Right. I didn't know that you could. Right? Like, different personalities.
Yes.
Charges when I'm around other people.
Charges when I'm alone or with very few people.
Very outdoor, exploring kind of person.
Introverted homebody.
Right. It made for some difficult moments.
Yes.
Right?
Some marriage encounters,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. We had so many great questions.
Yes.
That Nikki and I decided no way we could possibly do it all in one video or nobody would still be here.
Right.
So we're going to do 2 videos, right? Which means 2 t-shirts. So we're doing 2 drawings, one at the end of this video, and we're going to do another drawing, one at the end of the next video, and give out 2 free t-shirts.
All
Because
right.
there's just so many good questions.
It was great. Fabulous input.
It really was.
So the last question for part uno.
Yep. Is how do you keep your relationship fresh?
This is a great question to end on, I feel
Really
like.
is.
Because something that has been extremely important in our relationship, and we encourage highly other people that we talk to in their marriage relationship, is to keep the relationship fresh. We continue dating.
Yes.
A lot of people, when they are actually dating, they're very involved and they're doing fun things and they're going on adventures and they're learning all this about each other. And then you get married and life hits you kind of like a ton of bricks, and you get into full-time jobs or school or kids or whatever it is.
Right.
And dating falls along the wayside.
Right.
So that's something that we have really had to work at. It doesn't come easily or naturally. We've intentionally made sure that we continue dating and keep learning about each other.
Remember the early years of dating, right? There was real purpose in your dating.
Yeah.
Right? There was like, I'm going to plan this and we're going to go do these things. And it was a production, really.
And you're asking questions and you want to learn about each other and you want to know what makes each other tick. And
Right. And so we end up losing a lot of that sometimes because we think about dating as, and we've done this too, where we go out to dinner and call it a date.
Yep.
And unfortunately, not that that can't be a date, but sometimes we just kind of get caught in the normal of it. And so to date with purpose,
Yes.
to take turns planning the date.
Yep.
Trust me, we've been on all the spectrums financially of this thing. So sometimes it's, hey, it's my turn to plan the date and we don't have any money. So we're going to do a picnic in the living room right after the kids go to bed.
One of the things, the first year that we were married, I was in school, Clinton was working, and we were not making very much money.
Nope.
There was a little grocery store in the town where we lived, and we would get $1 ice cream cone.
Yep.
And walk around there was a graveyard right
Yep.
behind the gas station.
Riveting.
We would walk around the graveyard and eat our ice cream and dream about our future and whatever.
Dream
it was.
about what having money would look like sometime, you know.
Right.
When it was date night, we would go get Chinese food, right?
Yep.
And we would bring it back to the house and we would watch Marty Stalford's Wild America, right?
On PBS.
On PBS.
Because it was free.
'Cause
with
it's
our
free.
Antenna.
Yeah, right.
We didn't have cable.
Anyhow, the point of it is that you are purposeful about it.
Yes.
That it's not just something that you happen upon a date. That you make plans.
Yeah.
You
Put it on the calendar.
Put it on the calendar. Make an effort to really explore a deeper relationship with your spouse.
Yeah, definitely. So now we get to choose our winner for episode 1.
Okay.
So I have all
You're
the
mixing
names.
them up?
I'm mixing it up. You can
I'm going to close
it.
my eyes.
Okay.
Look at that. Okay. Here we go. This is it right here.
Okay. It's Rebecca S. from Facebook. So Rebecca, I will be contacting you to find out what size you wear and get your address so that we can send you your free t-shirt.
Yes.
So stay tuned for part 2 of our Q&A coming up soon, where we will answer a good portion of the rest of the questions. And then like we said earlier, there are a few questions that will actually become their very own episode coming soon.
And I want to tell you that if you are one of those that ask that good of a question, when we do the entire episode on your question, we're giving you a t-shirt too.
T-shirts all around.
T-shirts.
So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you check out our next episode of part 2 coming soon.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Bye. Hey, stay tuned next time when we're going to do part 2 of the Q&A and give away another t-shirt.
Another one? All right.